creature.
Pickle.
Did you grow up with the NES, PlayStation, Star Wars, cartoons, and 80s TV? Do you like to think who would win in a fight between Batman and the Master Chief? Comics, games, movies, music, and TV, they're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of geeks. Comics, games, movies, music, and TV, they're gonna tell you everything you need. Superheroes or not, they got your back. They're gonna save the world of geeks. This Week in Geek. This Week in Geek.
Well, hello and welcome to the annual TWIG Black Friday special. We've been doing this for a few years now when we decided to expand the regular holiday gift guide into a few pieces of content, mostly because it was getting a lot to try to squeeze into the one show. And we have a lot of listeners, obviously, in the States, but also Black Friday has become a much bigger event, at least in Canada, but also other parts of the world as well, especially as everything has gone global with ordering online and Cyber Monday and all that fun stuff. So we've decided that, we're going to have this year and probably in the future, three pieces of shows. We have this particular Black Friday guide. We have our main full holiday gift guide that we've been doing, every year for almost the better part of 20 years now. And we are also going to do like a last minute gift ideas. We try to put that out about 12 days before Christmas because it's kind of, 12 days of Christmas, haha. But also because there's sometimes things that we get to review or that come in for gift guide consideration that don't get in time for the regular show. And that, gives us a few extra days to get that prepared. So this was going to be a regular show with some reviews, and then we were going to do a separate show specifically just for, a short thing for the Black Friday deals. But Birdman's house is a house of sickness. Wish Mrs. Birdman a quick recovery. She's got like a nasty ear infection and just overall fevers, and Birdman was just himself getting over the plague essentially. So he's like, you want to record? I said, dude, you guys need to rest. So we're just sort of going to combine this into one. So instead of a review show or the regular news show and then a separate show, we're just going to sort of do it all in one. We're skipping the regular news because there was only a few stories that we had actually had that would have made sense to put in here, and not the kind of ones that we could have really done as solo. We really needed to bounce off each other. So we're saving, maybe some stories for next week. Next week will be the final regular news show of the year for us. After that, it's all holiday themed programming. And then we're on our break until we come back in the new year. But we will make sure we have at least one show ready to go in there so we can, close out the year with an interesting, it's been an interesting year news-wise, that's for sure. But yeah, so what we're going to do here is we're going to separate a few sections here. We're going to have an intro here that I'm doing where I'm going to go over some of the flyers for the nationwide Black Friday deals in Canada. It's going to be different in the States, obviously, because, we are where we are. We're focused where we're focused. This first half here is going to be just the national chains, because there's a lot of local and provincial and like regional chains that are going to have their own deals. You'll have to look up your own local flyers for that. But I've gone through some of the flyers for the big national box stores that are still around and just highlighting some of the deals. So we'll go over that briefly, and then we're going to take a break and get into a bunch of reviews that would have been in the regular show, plus a few gift guide items that we were sent for review that we wanted to make sure we have a spot to talk about. We're going to put that in the middle, and then I'm going to come back at the end, and I'll probably go over not every like American chain of Black Friday deals, because you're going to probably hear that and see that for yourself if you're, one of our friends down to the south. But I know I've been sent some manufacturer deals. Some of the companies that have sent us review items have also sent over, holiday guides and gift information and Black Friday deals. And I'm going to go through some of my emails. It's going to be pretty, laid back. We're going to go through and see some of the ones that, might be either US based or perhaps international based deal wise. So you might have to check your local, local website or maybe a distributor for some of those to see if the deals apply to you. But in general, most of the ones, if they apply to the States, they usually do apply to the rest of the world. Who knows with tariffs, though? We'll see. But so that's pretty much what we're going to do. It's the same sort of format we've done in the last few years. So I'm going to start off by going over and I'm going to check out. I was trying to figure out which I should go with, which chains are still around, because in some cases they either don't have flyers or they're regional, because there's going to be some local deals, or the deals aren't big enough to be worth it. With everybody, the money's tight this year, right? So not everybody has $1,100 to spend on a really cool TV that would normally be $2,000. So we're keeping it pretty close to the entertainment field. It's going to be mostly video game related stuff that I'll mention here, and I'm going through a few of the ones like Best Buy. So I'll start out with Best Buy, what they've got on sale for Black Friday for the foreseeable week, and then there'll probably be some deals obviously on Cyber Monday. If anything crazy pops up for Cyber Monday, we'll make sure that we tweet it out, or we'll put it out on our Blue Sky or on our other social media platforms. But as far as early this week's recording, most of the regular in-store flyers have been pretty much settled in. So starting with Best Buy, it looks like they, as well as a bunch of other stores, are going to be having PlayStation products on sale. Now, the Slim edition of the PS5, which this is the newer Slim PS5, the one that doesn't come with a disc drive, it's been dropped by $130 to $449. Remember, for anybody outside of Canada, these are Canadian numbers. So, they've been raised in price over the last year or two. And so we're getting a bit of a discount, but $449 for the Slim Edition. Again, you'd have to purchase a version that comes with a disc drive if you want that, or purchase it separately. If you want the Slim that comes with a disc drive, it's $519. Again, another $130 off of the full retail price, or the original retail price. And if you want the 1 terabyte version of that, that is the 1 terabyte version. So that's good in that sense. As far as other bundles that they do have the PS5 Slim that comes with Fortnite for the same price. So if you get a chance, get it. Obviously, even if you don't play Fortnite, it's good to have something at least bundled in. And the PlayStation 5 Ghost of Yote bundle, that's the black bundle. That is the disc drive one with the special edition plates on the side case, and you get a copy. You get the limited edition bundle here, $589. Again, basically $130 off of the retail price right off the bat. Other games that are also on sale that I would like to highlight. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom on Switch is $59, which doesn't sound like a deal, but with the prices of Nintendo games now, normally it's $25 more. So you're getting it sort of for the price of what things were years ago, but it's still there. If you want to get the Ghost of Yote controller for the PS5, that's actually a really sweet looking controller. $84. Only a few dollars off of what they used to be, but again, save $25 in today's current economy. Same goes for Paper Mario: 1,000 Year Door on Switch. That's $55. Let's save $30 on that. If you want God of War Ragnarok on PS5, it's $30. Regularly $90. That's a big sale. It's the first time it's dropped that low. Donkey Kong Country Returns is $59.99. Save $25. If you need any like Xbox wireless controllers from Best Buy, and either for PC or for your Xbox, you're looking at $67, $17 off. It's not a crazy deal, but it is still a pretty good utilitarian controller. So keep that in mind. As far as any other, bundles, there's going to be some like Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered. It's $30. It's basically a little more than half off. Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut, which is the PS5 version, is $40, which is save $50 on that as well. So you could, get a couple games, and in many cases, it's basically buy one get one at that price point. For instance, like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is $35 down, that's $25 off. Spider-Man 2 is $40, that's $50 off. As far as sports titles, I'm not going to bother, because at this point, if you haven't purchased the sports titles, you're probably not going to if they've been out for months and months. There are other things on sale, but like I don't consider $450 for a cool ass gamer headset to be a good deal, even though it's $170 off. We're trying to keep things fairly reasonably priced and within reason for people. If that's your jam, go for it. You're already probably seeking it out. But if not, it is what it is. You're noticing that I'm not mentioning any Xbox titles. That's because Xbox is mostly pulled out, it seems, of physical in a lot of stores, and Best Buy isn't really offering any deals on basically any of them. What they do have is they have some decent discounts on catalog games, like some, for instance, if you still want to get Red Dead Redemption 2 on PS4, it's $15. That's save $5. Not a lot of a deal, but it's still there. And you'll probably find a lot of like Switch accessories on sale, original Switch, and for that, that's good enough. Final Fantasy 16 on PS5 is $25. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart's $40. That's a good deal. Okay, I found a singular in their flyer, a singular Xbox Series X game on sale, and it's Assassin's Creed Shadows, which just had its expansion come out, and it's $50 versus the normal $90. Also, Mafia: The Old Country is $55. That's a good deal because it's actually quite a good game. At the original price point of $70, it might have been pushing it a little bit, but they have had patches come out for it, so it's probably worth it overall. Toys R Us does have some Black Friday deals, but it's mostly on toys and stuff. Obviously, gaming and that sort of stuff, you kind of were going to have to check it out on day one. Now, that's not going to help anybody outside of Canada because Toys R Us is basically only existing up here anymore. I can give you a bit of a lowdown on what Walmart has, though, which is, nationwide. There are going to be some regional differences based on stock, more so between the States and Canada, but something to keep an eye out for their Black Friday deals is they do have Switch 2 consoles, which is the Mario Kart World bundle that was originally supposed to be sold out by now, but they produce a lot more extra ones. They're limiting it to 2 per person. It says $700, which is, you don't see that it's necessarily a deal, but what they're doing is with each one they're throwing a $100 reward with it, so you're getting like a Visa or MasterCard gift card, $100. So you basically get $100 back on one of those gift cards. So you're able to get up to 2 per person. So no discount on the console really itself, but you do get that $100 gift card. So, if you purchase 2, which is the maximum, you get a couple $100 back you can then use to buy games or something else with it. So that's something to keep in mind. Some of the other things that are limited is they do have AirPods. So if you're looking for, decent wireless earbuds, $219 down from $329. Those are limited to 3 per customer. I don't know who's buying 3, but still, it's there. And the same goes for iPad Airs. You can get 128 gig, limit 3, $379, regularly $499. Those are sort of the door crasher electronics that they've got. There's also some televisions. If you're looking to upgrade a TV, they do have decent, like 50-inch, like it's 50-inch Google TVs or ones with Roku in that. They got a few different ones priced at about $308. That's basically $100 off. It's basically 25% off of the Hisense stuff, which is pretty good for the price. You're not really going to find something that good at that price point any other time of the year. So that's not half bad. You're probably getting something that's a year old model or two, new, but still a year old or whatever. And in that sense, this is still pretty good. I will mention that they've also got Instax cameras on sale. I will have in our gift guide, as well as maybe here, I'll maybe be throwing in a review of some of the Fujifilm Instax cameras that we were sent. We've been sent some of the products. I've talked about the Mario Block printer one in the past. Well, they've got the Instax Mini SE instant camera, $79, regularly $89, so you save $10. It's good. It's already a pretty good product. So that's, if you're looking for, a photography sort of gift that's, won't break the bank, you've got that. A bunch of video games are on sale. So similar, they got Spider-Man 2, Gran Turismo, and Ghost of Tsushima Director's Cut. PS5 games, $40, regularly $90. And they've got a bunch of other, Nintendo Switch titles, Kirby, the Zelda one we mentioned, $59, regularly $84. Now if you've been saving up and you want a PS5 Pro, they're limiting it to 2 per customer, but they do have one. The Pro console is $829. If that sounds nuts, it's regularly $960. So in that sense, it's not a crazy bad deal. As well as the PlayStation 5 digital edition, the Fortnite one, they got it for $449. So it looks like Sony's doing a bit of a price cut on some of their stuff. There's going to be other products, that you can look at, but those are going to be the ones you look at. Basically, if it's a PS5 game that came out in the first 2-3 years or so of the system's release, you're looking at 50 to 70% off. So it's finally a good time if you're somebody who just get a PS5, or you're maybe looking to get a used one somewhere. If you're being a little thrifty or trading to get one or something, you'll know that you'll be able to buy basically 3 or 4 games for the price of 2 of what you normally would have paid. So you could put together a decent starter catalog if you go that route. And then finally, we've got the EB Games one, which for those in the States, maybe haven't been following, EB Games was rebranded as GameStop up here earlier this year, basically right after the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. They announced that they had been purchased by a Canadian firm and a Canadian millionaire dude, and rebranding back as EB Games, which is what it was here since the 90s. They still sell some of the same products that they've got in the States. So Biogenic is still theirs, but they're also slowly branching out and having their own brands, and they're basically fully Canadian owned again. So they're going to be similar deals maybe to what you have in the States when it comes to GameStop, but some stuff may be different. So for instance, what they're doing right now is they're running a 50% extra trade credit towards games traded towards any product in this flyer. So basically, not only do they have their flyer on for Black Friday, any item that is advertised in the flyer, if you trade towards it, you'll get 50% extra trade credit towards the already discounted product. Not a bad start, I'll tell you. That reminds me of some of the old trade deals they used to do like 20 years ago. So they're doing the same thing with God of War Ragnarok, Gran Turismo 7. They've got Lego Horizon Adventures, as well as Spider-Man 2, save up to 65%. It's going to be depending on the individual. For instance, Lost Soul Aside in the flyer, $49. Death Stranding 2 on the Beach is $64, down from $89. MLB The Show is $30. Astro Bot is $50, down from $80. That's something to keep an eye on if you're looking to buy, especially if you want to trade towards it. Lego Horizon Adventures, that's a fun game. It's $25, down from $50. Horizon Zero Dawn Remastered, $30, down from $65. They've got some decent stuff here. Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, $40, down from $65. Let's see if there's another really good one on here. Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection. That's the one that, basically includes everything. It's the PS5 version, $30, down from $65. And then on top of that, they have, let me see, do they have anything crazy good? Demon Souls 40 down from 90. That's a pretty good deal. And after that, we've got Borderlands 4 PS5, save $20 for a fairly new release. You've also got, they're doing save $130 on their consoles. They've also got save $25 on DualSense wireless controllers, so that counts when trading towards that. As far as some other deals they've got, I already went through those. Save $25 on a whole bunch of Nintendo Switch games. So if you're looking for Zelda, Donkey Kong, these are Switch 1 games, by the way. Princess Peach Showtime, Kirby, Return to Dreamland Deluxe. What else is there? There is Luigi's Mansion 3. They're all saved $25 off of the regular retail price, which is probably the lowest they're ever going to go unless Nintendo brings back a collector's or selection edition again. Sports titles are all pretty much off. Okay, Battlefield 6, save $10. Not a crazy sale, but a popular game, so consider that maybe. Beyond that, they've got a bunch of toys on sale. That's not something I'm an expert in, so I'm going to sort of skip by. Save $30 on PlayStation Portal. Save $15 on Mafia: The Old Country, so it's $54, regularly $69. Another new release that got good reviews, Silent Hill F, $69, regularly $99. It's one of the ones that's surprisingly more money than usual here. Sonic Racing Crossworlds, great game, regularly $100, $64.99. We see one of the ones I reviewed that I liked, but I said maybe wait for a sale, was Digimon Story Time Stranger. It's now $69, regularly $99. Call of Duty's not on sale. Well, we've had it for review. We're working on it, but there's issues, so it's not on sale. Maybe wait. I'll say that now. They've also got accessories on sale and like headphones and that sort of stuff, but it's going to be more region specific. It looks like if they do have more, it's probably going to be limited stock, so keep that in mind. As far as Switch 2 titles, now they're not putting, like, same deal. They're not putting the consoles on sale at all, but you can save $25 on the Nintendo 256 gig Samsung SD Express card. I would keep an eye out on Amazon to see if you can get a 512 or larger. 256 isn't really enough to be, unless you're like not ever going to play a AAA game and you're only going to play Nintendo stuff themselves and indie stuff. I would be careful. Also, the Street Fighter amiibos are on sale $15 off, which brings them back to like normal amiibo price. But as far as Switch 2 games, you have Sonic Shadow Generations is $35 off, $35, regularly $70. If you're looking for a Switch 1 game that's fantastic, it is Mario Odyssey is now $54, down from $84. It is crazy that game is as old as it is, but it's never really dropped in price. And consider this, it did get a free update if you play it on Switch 2. It does a resolution and frame rate unlock, so it plays better. Hogwarts Legacy is $20 off. Yakuza 0 is $25 off. Star Wars Outlaws is $20 off, which is, it's one of those like sort of miracle ports that plays great. $20 off for Puyo Puyo Tetris. And as far as any other deals there's some stuff on like the Power A accessories. But again, those you might want to keep an eye on, like Amazon. They might even have a better deal than that. As far as they have like kids and Christmas related sort of games, like the really cheapy kind of junky stuff, maybe avoid that if you can. They've got 20% off of figures, basically anime figures, Dragon Ball Z, Hatsune Miku, a bunch of other stuff like that. If you're somebody who still hasn't played Grand Theft Auto 5 on PS4, you can get the premium edition for $15 right now. Otherwise, I'd say wait. And that's pretty much going to do it for EB Games. You're going to see basically a similar pattern to previous years. older games that are on the same platform or current platforms that have maybe more than a year or two old, you're looking at anywhere from 20 to 70% off in some cases. So they are worth checking out if this is your year to pick them up. Some decent stuff on newer releases, save 10, 20 bucks. Consoles, you aren't going to get a deal on the Switch unless you get it from Walmart, and you end up getting one of those gift cards back instead. Other than that, nobody's doing a deal on that. Everybody's doing a deal on PS5, so you're looking at anywhere from $130 to $140 off, regardless of the model of PS5. So maybe it's the year for that. I don't see Xbox deals anywhere. I don't see the consoles being offered anywhere. Microsoft can say what they want about how they're still going to be in stores. None of the flyers have anything to do with Xbox consoles, just the controllers. So if you do want an Xbox console for cheap, people might be burning them off, selling them off on like Facebook Marketplace or something like that. They're good consoles. They are. So, I got rid of my Series X when I got my Switch 2 because I was doing PC Game Pass and it was basically at parity and yada yada. But I still have my Series S. The discless, the small one, that still might be a good console to get if you find one in a store or if you find a used one, because I like that it's portable enough that I can take it place to place and, have my game library there and I can play it, if I visit my mom's or if I visit my brother or somebody. I can take it with me. That's something to consider. Otherwise, it looks like the one that to get if you're not clamoring to get a Switch would be, this is the time to buy a PS5 because we don't know what the prices are going to be like come next year as RAM goes up in price. So keep that in mind. Obviously, I didn't go into like too much PC hardware. I do have a review and I do have some highlights of some PC hardware that you can maybe finagle into doing a build with. But as it stands now, I'm probably going to be suggesting against buying RAM and certain things like that. If you can Frankenstein an older computer into a newer build that you can then future-proof, that's probably the way to go. But everything's kind of in flux with prices right now as we are hitting like a tech bubble. So we'll see what happens. But that's sort of a general idea entertainment-wise. You know that there's going to be movies and stuff on sale. If you go to Walmart or if you go onto Amazon, you'll see that there will be movies and that music, that sort of stuff on sale. Keep an eye out for it. But basically for the gaming side of things, there's some pretty good deals, especially on the PlayStation 5 side for both hardware and software. Some decent deals on Switch software, or if you're going to be willing to pay full price for the Switch 2 at Walmart, but also get a gift card back. Other than that, nothing crazy yet, but we'll come back after we take a break and we'll go into some of the reviews of items that have come in that we're going to want to talk about. And then at the end, I'll come back again and I'll maybe read off some of the deals that I've seen pop up from different publisher emails that I've been sent, and we'll sort of go into what the programming is going to be like for the rest of I guess the year, because it's going to be full steam ahead right towards the Game Awards into Christmas, and we'll get into all that in a bit. So I'm going to take a break here, grab myself a coffee, and maybe rest my lungs, because I'm worried I'm going to get sick too if I keep talking too much. And we'll be back right after this, right here on ThisWeekInGeek.net.
Hey Twig listeners, this is David, your resident librarian from Loose Cannon and Ram, back with another exceptional book recommendation from our friends at Inside Editions. Back in 2019, Academy Award-winning director and writer Quentin Tarantino completed and released his 9th film Onto the World, which was a fictional showcase of the late 1960s Hollywood, entitled Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, and many more, this film was ultimately a trip into the year of 1969 in Hollywood, California, as we followed struggling movie star Rick Dalton and his stunt double and drinking buddy Cliff Booth navigating what might be the end of their careers. Creating a world incorporating film studios, celebrity parties, infamous murder cults, and the end of the 1960s, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood went on to gross over $390 million worldwide, becoming a quick favorite of many moviegoers. The world building was next level and easily one of Tarantino's most developed films from a standpoint of the characters, environment, story, and cultural significance. But what was the inspiration? How did Tarantino begin this elaborate production? What was left on the cutting room floor from the rumored 9-hour cut? All these questions and more can be answered in one of the best book releases of 2025, as Inside Editions is proud to present The Making of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Jay Glenny and Quentin Tarantino. Jay Glenny, the respected journalist behind such works as One Shot, The Making of Deer Hunter, and Raging Bull, Making of, for the first time ever has sat down with Tarantino to uncover every possible piece of behind-the-scenes information on Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which is now available and compiled in this 400-page hardback book, including never-before-seen pictures, interviews, stories, promo art, and so much more. Broken into 4 parts, this book will take you through the pre-production, production, post-production, and legacy of this beloved Hollywood saga. You'll hear stories from over 65 members of cast, crew, plus concept artists, Oscar-winning cinematographer Bob Richardson, as well as production designer Barbara Ling, and many more with great stories unavailable until now. Hear the experiences of Leonardo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, plus a supporting cast of smaller names then, but big names now, including Mikey Madison, Margaret Qualley, Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Fanning, and so on. You will not believe how much can be contained in a single book until you start flipping through this beautiful monstrosity packed with hundreds of images on set, scene-by-scene breakdowns, including scenes that didn't make the final cut, unused poster art, and set designs like you wouldn't believe. Glenny has truly put his heart and soul into this release, and the final product is one of the top recommendations for any cinephile, Tarantino head, history buff, or general fans of the film. Take a trip back to 1960s Hollywood with The Making of Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood by Jay Glenny, available now at InsideEditions.com.
Alex, the producer here, and just a quick little update on a couple of games that I've had a chance to check out for review. We're sort of probably going to be slotting this into our Black Friday Deals Week show, or whatever the main show is, shortly before we do all of our holiday gift guide stuff, because these are going to be some of the last reviews we do for the year before the main gift guide, and wanted to make sure we talked about them. Now, as far as, you know, what we've got coming, there might be some bigger reviews coming too. We'll see. But as of right now, I wanted to talk about a couple of games. The first one here is Baseless. Now, this is developed by Fermenter Games, published by First Break Labs. A review code was provided for us to check out. Now, it's available on Steam, certified for Steam Deck, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It's a 2D platformer shooting adventure game. It's pretty challenging, but it's a planet jumping shooter where shooting is the movement, equals movement, essentially. You blast from planet to planet. You're demolishing every enemy in your path. You're firing powerful weapons, rescuing different people, and there's a ton of cool stuff. As far as the gameplay is concerned, when I say shooting is the movement or equals the movement, you propel yourself across the planet's surface, you aim your gun at the ground to blast off, and you're using that to just move around. It's pretty sweet. There's tons of different colorful zones that you can go through. As far as how it plays, it's pretty smooth. I haven't encountered any major issues myself with it. It's got a pretty unique and interesting art style. You'll want to definitely check out like a YouTube trailer for it if you want to get an idea for that. Obviously, being an audio podcast, it's hard for me to portray it, but I do think it's pretty freaking sweet, honestly. As far as what's concerned, it has a very interesting like geometric look. It kind of reminds me of some of the more experimental games of the early 2000s with it. As far as controls are concerned, it seems pretty tight, I'd say, overall. It is, if you're playing it on PC, you can use keyboard, but it is optimized obviously for like an Xbox controller. Playing it on any other platform, the controller is, tight and concise with there. Worth checking out. At least my first impressions from what I've been playing for a few hours is it's definitely worth checking out. As far as, a full blast review, I think we might be able to get to that before the holidays, but if not, I do think it's worth your time, so check it out on any platform. I'll put a link in the description, and maybe we'll have an update for it when we do our holiday gift guide in the next week or two. As for the other game that we're including here, I know, I've been checking out a fair amount of indie style games, and one of them I'm checking out right now is called Cross Blitz. Now, Cross Blitz, it's a RPG deck builder. I'm not usually the biggest person to this, but I had mentioned it to my brother. I was like, dude, well, what do you think about, have you seen this? He goes, oh, I think I've played this. And I was like, really? He goes, yeah. He goes, I play a lot of things in like early access. And he goes, I think the full version's coming out real soon. And I went, oh, okay, well, okay, I've got a review copy. He goes, yeah, you'll check it out. You'll like it. And I went, okay. So I did. I checked it out. There's tons of cards to collect, tons of synergies you can do. You can explore, level up. The developer is Taco Boy Studios, and the publisher is the Arcade Crew and Game Mirror Games. I would say it works pretty well. I'm playing it obviously on Steam, and it works. It says it's Steam Deck playable. It doesn't mean it's certified for it at all, obviously, but it's not the kind of game that requires a ton of specs. I'll say this right now: minimum specs, Core 2 Duo, or a Phenom 2 with 4 gigs of RAM and 1 gig of video memory. 600 megs of hard drive space, and recommended is the same specs, essentially the exact same specs, the only difference being nothing. Now that is for low 1080p at 60. I'm obviously able to play at 4K, max settings, no problem, and it works just fine. It has a really cool art style. It takes a lot for me to get into these style of games, and I could say there's a lot of flashing things, a lot of cool interactivity, a lot of inventiveness on screen. It pulled me in, and I had a great time with it. I think a lot of people that might not even normally like this style of game will probably like it. And I think it's worth checking out. So, link in the description, check it out, see what you think. I think it's great. Maybe do a longer form review in the future as we get closer to the holiday gift guide, but I think it's fully worth it. So just a couple of games that I've been playing the last little bit that I can both, wholeheartedly recommend both. It's not often that I can say that, without, I think that pretty much any of you listening will get a kick out of either or both of these games. Alex, the producer here, and our friends at Be Quiet sent a couple of cool new products for us to check out and review here and consider for our holiday gift guide. And I'm doing all that. We're probably going to be including them in our holiday gift guide in a week or two as well. I held off a little bit simply because I was going to do a new build, as we try to do pretty much every year now, for gift ideas for the holidays. What would be a cool build that we could do? And I'm in the process of putting a computer together for my mom. Her computer, sadly, woefully died about 6 months ago, and I had given her a little mini PC, like one of those Intel N100s that were like $160 on sale on Amazon. I had one as like a little media center box that I was using, and she's using that right now. She's a senior, retired on a fixed income, and she's using that right now just to get on, print things that she needs to print, do her emails, and then it's sort of hooked up to her little family room television so she can watch some movies and do Netflix and that sort of stuff. But she's been, sort of saying, well, maybe I should get a new computer. I'm going to go. Well, surprise, surprise, I'm putting together a computer for her. The trouble has been, if you're somebody who's been paying attention to prices out there, RAM went like 3 times the price, 4 times the price in the last couple of months, to the point where like you either have to buy a pre-built that's already been made, nothing new. It's like another mini PC that's already pre-made in China or something, or you kind of have to look, in the aftermarket or the secondhand market for things. And my solution has now been, I went, wait a minute, do I have anything I can use? And I went, I do. I'm basically doing a Frankenstein machine for her. It's going to be her basically all-in-one unit in her little living room. It's going to be kind of cool looking, but not so flashy and crazy. And I wanted to make sure that like it's powerful enough that she can do all of her media stuff. She wants to get back into making YouTube videos, because fun fact, my mom was on YouTube like the year it came out. She was part of like that boomer generation of people that were doing like pen pal videos to each other, and she did like little mini bios on on her favorite old celebrities from the 1950s, and she did like face painting makeup videos and stuff, and she had some videos back in the day with like 30,000 40,000 views. That's a lot back then. And like she was invited to the original YouTube like convention meetup in Toronto and all that for creators and that. And then she dropped off as life got in the way. She's like, I'm retired now. I kind of want to get back to making YouTube videos, and you can't do that on a $150 mini PC. But what I've got is I have an i3 it's an 8th gen. No, is it an 8th or a 10th gen maybe? What do I have? No, it is a 12th gen. Yeah, I have a 12th gen i3 12100 i3, that's right, that I had been using as my media PC before we did all the rebuild last year. So I have a motherboard, and it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly suitable for her use. It's just not going to be something I can use for my high-end editing or video games anymore, right? But I'm like, okay, wait a minute. It's an i3. It has onboard video, so she can use the onboard video, or I have a video card I can throw in. I think, fingers crossed, I think I've got my AMD Radeon 5500 still sitting around here somewhere. Again, nothing that you would want to use for necessarily mainline gaming. She might play some like very basic stuff, but it would be enough for her to make some videos for YouTube and do all of her video consumption and streaming and everything that she wants to do. So I've got a motherboard. I've got, the big key thing is I've still got RAM from that motherboard. I think I've got 8 gigs, which is enough for her. I got a video card. I have somewhere lying around here, I've got probably a 250 gig SATA SSD. That's enough to get her online. I can always get her another hard drive later on for storage. And I got a motherboard, I got a CPU. What I don't have is, or I didn't have with it, was a power supply left over, a case, or any way of cooling it. I think I might have a stock cooler somewhere. Well, it just coincided with what I was sent, which was from our friends at Be Quiet. They sent a power supply, which is the same power supply or similar power supply to what I got last year, which was the 1500 watt, but this one's 1000 watt. It's overkill for what she needs, but future-proofs her for a long run. So this is going to be a project computer where when I put it together and give it to her, I can change the motherboard and change the internals, but we'll still have the bones of this that we can use for the next 10, 20 years. She's getting up there in age, but hopefully this could potentially, knock on wood, this lasts her the rest of her life with a case and power supply and a liquid cooling solution. And then it's just a matter of changing the guts every few years if she needs it. So they said, along with the power supply, the 2 main products that they sent for us to check out and review and talk about were the Lightbase 500LX, which is a new case. It's one of those cool looking new ones where I'm not as well versed in it, but the design is where it has not just the side panel that's see-through, like it's the side and front, and so you can mount things multiple different ways. And it's a larger case, but not as big as the case I got last year. So it is something that she'll be able to sort of put on the ground. I already know her. She's going to put like a doily or some sort of like homemade tableclothy thing on top of it. So I'm going to have to be sure that I mount the radiators a certain way, but she's not going to be taxing it so much. It's just going to sort of sit down on the ground in her basement, her finished basement in the living room, and I'll be able to run wires to her television for the main use, and I'll probably, I might do something interesting with that mini PC that I have, and probably take that and turn that into like a thin client or something that she can connect to from a little office in another part of the house, and make this computer like her central server for everything too as well. So the project include that. The Lightbase 500LX, it is really neat. So it's an angled side-out fan frame on the side, which routes air directly to the GPU, which, again, overkill for her situation at the current step. Perfect for future-proofing. Like, this could be a project I can build on for her for the next several years as she needs it, and not go flashy. Like, you can do all the LED and all that fun, fancy stuff. She's not going to want that. She just wants it. She'll want something to be quiet, which is Be Quiet. Obviously, that's something that's going to be fantastic for her. She'll want it to be quiet, not too big, but in a shape that if she wants to, she can cover it if she needs to, and not, block all the ventilation. And easy to use, where she can just press the power button, turn it on, and not have to deal with it. The fans can be controlled in the lower fan bay to line up perfectly with the case floor. There's 4 pre-installed Lightwings LX 120 millimeter power management fans, which I can say they're great. They really are. ARGB controller button. In this case, I won't be using that. Spacious design with radiators up to 360 millimeters and ATX motherboards. She's going to be getting a micro ATX board. There's going to be plenty of room. There's plenty of airflow. It's going to be running so cool. 2 possible PSU positions that enable either the backside connector or motherboards. Dust filters, which is good because I'll show her how to clean that. It's just a really solid, sweet looking case. We'll put links in the description of the show for this so you can check it out yourself. It's very solidly built. There's not much I can say beyond the fact that this is a really neat case that is very versatile in how you put it together. And for the case that I'm using it for, like the use case, I have so many options of how I can place things in there, and expandability. I'll be able to put, more hard drives in as we go. If she needs, if she needs extra USB ports to route things around or whatever, there's plenty of room. It's a very good, solid case. Price point, you're going to have to check out, different retailers. I'll check right now as of this recording. Let's see here. As of this recording, we're looking, because it's obviously going to depend specifically on where you live. But let's see here. If I pull it up, it's looking like a couple $100 somewhere, between Newegg, Canada Computers, and Amazon, depending on the sale, because you keep an eye out for the Black Friday and Cyber Monday sales, somewhere between $200 and it looks like $260, depending on where you go. Completely reasonable, especially in today's market, and for something that you can do fully upgradable. The other item that I was sent with it is the Pure Loop 3 LX to go along with it. This is, in the same line with the LX line here. We've talked about previous liquid coolers. They have all-in-ones, and this is no different. It's high quality, a RGB cooling block, 10 included light foils. In my case, again, for this case, I'm not turning it on. Maybe for Christmas, if I let her open it up early, maybe I'll turn it on and we'll put it on like a Christmas tree mode so that it can match her Christmas lights or something. That could be pretty interesting, and then I'll just have to show her how to turn it off when she's watching TV or whatever and doesn't want it on. There is 3 Lightwings, LX PWM high-speed fans included. You can daisy chain the PWM fans, so it's easily controllable that way. There's an easy access refill port, which is key if you want to top it up. If you're really pushing something, I'm not like this again, overkill for the current build that I have. But we are in a day and age right now where prices of computer components have gone up so much that you might be doing what we're doing here, which is Frankensteining pieces together. And she'll have a perfectly serviceable, very quiet. Most important for her is quiet and comfort and ease of use situation. It'll be perfect for her. So I think if you're looking to build a computer and you maybe don't have all the money together for brand new CPU, brand new motherboard, but you have a computer that you've already got that you want to sort of get started for the future, this is a good way to go. You get a really solid case that you can use for 10 plus years if you really want to, a power supply that can last you 10 plus years, especially if you're not driving too much from it, and a really, really good, loop like the Pure Loop 3 LX here. Put it all together, and then in the future, because there's so much room to work with within the case, you can go, okay, well, I don't have to worry about my video card fitting or my motherboard fitting in the future. You've got your base, your bones essentially ready to go for when prices do come to a more reasonable thing, or you happen to find a good bundle deal or something on a motherboard, RAM, and CPU in the future. So that's what I wanted to get at here. These are solid, worth it. I'll put links in the description. I think you'll want to check it out if you're looking to get a new computer or put together some sort of hybrid Frankenstein computer like I am. this is something you might want to consider.
Hey guys, this is Mike the Birdman here. I'm here to talk to you about something really neat we got sent from our friends over at Nintendo and Koei Tecmo. I'm taking a look at Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment on the Nintendo Switch 2. So this is my impressions of this game, and I gotta say, I've been out of the Zelda series for quite some time. I didn't really get into Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom. I've been out in the cold for a while, but what I really like are these kind of Dynasty Warrior type of games. Like, I love button mashing. I dig the whole, like, Dynasty Warrior style, and with Hyrule Warriors, that's more my jam. Mindlessly beating the crap out of bad guys across Hyrule, and what I got here was something I didn't expect to suck me in, so much so I kinda lost about 8 hours plus in a single game session. Not a great look for me, but no, seriously, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is one of those games I did not expect to take me on the journey that it did. Now, that being said, this is a canonical prequel to the story that's been kind of laid out in Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, and this is sort of like how things get rolling for that. Like, if you're into cameos and stuff, there's some really cool stuff here. Time travel, the story, because I cannot tell it to you without getting in the spoiler territory from what I understand. Zelda gets sent back in time to the founding of Hyrule with King Rauru and Queen Sonia, and obviously we're seeing the Demon King Ganondorf and how that all came to be. And you do see some pretty amazing story kind of played out here, which for me in these games, the last game I really enjoyed was, I think it was like Fire Emblem Three Hopes, which is like another kind of Dynasty Warriors type game, and I had a friggin' blast with that. So you have obviously your cast of characters, but you can do these things called sync attacks where you and your compatriots can do like this awesome kind of team up attack. Think like Persona 5 Strikers, that like sort of vibe. And like the cast gets ludicrously huge, and you can level up them. They can use different weapons and abilities. You use these things called Zonai devices, which allow you to use like flamethrowers, like electric shooters, all sorts of like cool future tech. And then you get like this construct character that's only known as the Mysterious Construct. I wonder who that could be, but he looks badass and it's awesome. Plus, if you have saved data from Age of Calamity, you unlock a weapon. And so far, I like that weapon, and that's the one I powered up the most because I'm ridiculous and I love pre-order bonuses and like Mass Effect type stuff where like your saves carry forward. Either way, I'm getting into the weeds here. But no, seriously, this is an amazingly fun game. There's so much to do. You're going to be doing all these quests that unlock different upgrades and abilities and different things you can do on the map. Like, seriously, I was surprised how not bored I was. Like, and in terms of getting me involved in the Zelda story again, the last time I genuinely cared would probably be a Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. I know, I'm old, I'm going to collect old age pension at some point. But this got me interested in a way that maybe I should be giving these games a second look. I know Alex has beat them before on the show, and I tend to go for these Hyrule Warrior types of games. So what can I say about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? If you care about the story, check. You want a fantastically fun game? Check. You want a game that runs buttery smooth on your new Nintendo Switch 2 at 60 frames a second? Check. Good soundtrack, pretty good voice acting, just fun gameplay. You are getting all that here. So ultimately, what can I say that I haven't already gushingly said about Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment? Seriously, Nintendo and AAA games and Koei Tecmo have done an outstanding job. If you want to know more about the world of Hyrule and how it all came to be with all your favorite characters out there wielding the Master Sword and all sorts of amazing things that help shape the future of the Kingdom of Hyrule, then Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is absolutely a recommendation for your Nintendo Switch library.
Alex, the producer here, with a couple of really cool accessories / gift ideas that are definitely going to be in the full gift guide this year for our holidays. Maybe some other programming probably, but I was trying to think, do I do them separately or do I do them together? I think together is a good idea, simply because of the time of year it is, and you're going to want to check out that they probably have sales going on right now if you look closely. First is, PDP and Turtle Beach, they merged. They are basically the same parent, same people. So that's why I'm putting together. They're interchangeable in my mind, because if you go to their website, obviously they have both on there. But Turtle Beach, obviously known for the more expensive, higher end stuff. It's what it's always been. And PDP known for, value price, but good quality stuff. So take that into account when I'm talking about this. The first thing I want to talk about is the Racer wireless racing wheel. This is from Turtle Beach, and as of the time of this recording, it has an MSRP of $179 US, which is actually on sale for $159, probably for Black Friday, Cyber Week, that sort of stuff. Keep an eye out at retail, see if you can find it for that price or cheaper. And what's really neat about this is, and I had my brother come over because he has built a PC racing rig for his wife, who's big. His wife, my sister-in-law, is not the biggest gamer the way we are when it comes to hardcore RPGs, and I do all the JRPG stuff, and my brother, he's really big into anything card game based on there, like Balatro, that sort of stuff, and Gwent, but then also he's really big into Metroidvania type stuff and that sort of stuff. His wife is very, very big into a couple of things: a little bit of Call of Duty, a little bit of Minecraft, and she loves racing sims and that sort of stuff. So they built a full racing rig, and one of the things he mentioned when he saw this here, he goes, "Oh, it's completely wireless?" And I went, "Yep." He goes, "What's the latency like?" I said, "Well, let's check it out," because it's not something that usually you see in the pro or in the simulation field. It's usually wired because of latency. It's usually cumbersome to set up and everything. And I should say, this is one of those ones where it can sit on your lap directly or on your leg. If you got a big ass leg like me, or you can set it on a table, or when you're on the couch, you can put it pretty much anywhere. It doesn't have pedals with it or anything. It's all built into the controller. It reminds me of a lot of the racing wheels you saw in the late 90s, early 2000s that didn't have a bazillion accessories with it, but is a self-contained, concise unit. So what you have here is a non-slip lap mount, or with adjustable clamps that you can use on a table. It's got 2.4 gigahertz wireless connection with up to 30 feet of range but specifically on the Xbox or PC. 30-hour battery life, plus play and charge wire connectivity. Meaning, if you plug it in directly into your Xbox, Series X, or you plug it into your PC, you can charge it while you're playing at the same time and not have to worry about it shutting off. So you can have long ass sessions if you really want to. The controller mode allows for the wheel compatibility with Rocket Racing, officially licensed for Xbox consoles and Windows PCs. 3.5 millimeter audio jack for audio controls and built-in audio controls for it. There is 2 mappable quick action buttons for customizable controls, soft touch textured grips, full 360 wheel design rotation, and Control Center 2 app connectivity for firmware updates, which is always a good thing to have for something like this. It has all the face buttons you'd want on the actual front of it, as well as D-pad on there and some dedicated buttons for what you would pretty much need. It won a bunch of awards at Gamescom of this year, so I was happy to get my hands on it, and it works great. What's interesting is it has lag-free wireless, so if you have, if you use the dongle that comes with it, you get 2.4, but it also has Bluetooth. So if you're going to connect to a phone to play a racing game on your phone or a tablet, you can do that via Bluetooth 5.1. So it's really low latency, high bandwidth, high quality connections, and I can confirm that they work perfect that way when I tried it on my phone. As far as what else you get in the box, you get the controller or the steering wheel. You get a USB wireless rich transmitter. You also have 2 lap rests. You get a 10-foot, 3-meter USB-C to USB-A charge and play cord, and the quick start guide. As far as other features are concerned, the fact that it's licensed means it's going to obviously work with pretty much everything you throw at it, Xbox-wise. It's going to have the robust support of firmware updates that you're usually used to expecting from PDP and from Turtle Beach, obviously. It's pretty slick, man, and the price point's not crazy, considering that like racing wheels could be like $300-$400, and then you got to get all the other accessories for them. As a self-contained unit, this is kind of something you might want to pick up, like just as a, the only thing that would make it better in my mind is if it was a try release thing that worked for PC, Xbox, and if you flipped a switch it worked for PlayStation. That would be even better. But as it stands, for its price point, somewhere hovering in the $150 to $170 range, that's pretty darn good. And I do think, if you're getting, if you have the Xbox ecosystem or PC at home and you're getting somebody a racing game or something like that, I mean, it works great for Forza, I can tell you that for sure. So it's worth checking out. And the other controller here is something that is getting a comeback finally, and this is the PDP Riffmaster wireless guitar controller. Did you like Rock Band? Did you like Guitar Hero? Well, it's kind of back here. Now, this is a version that we received is for the Nintendo Switch. There are versions for Xbox and PlayStation, but the Switch is interesting for that because it works, it says right on it, it works with, Fortnite? It was like one of the Fortnite modes or whatever for it, but Fortnite Festival, that's what it was, built for Fortnite Festival. So that was something I had to look into because I'd never even heard of it. And I was just, a big fan of the Rock Band and that sort of stuff, and I was like, wait a minute, can you get it to work? We'll see. There's a comeback for rhythm games, so it's something to keep an eye out for. I'm probably, hope he doesn't listen, I'm probably going to give this to Birdman because he was the big guy for this stuff in the past. What you get with it is, it also works with Switch 2, obviously. They've got it works with it, but the C button isn't available because it's not, on it. But 30-foot low latency wireless connection, built-in rechargeable battery, up to 36 hours of playtime per charge. Goddamn. Unique design that's suitable for both left and right-handed players. That's key. Guitar is collapsible and easy for storage and travel. Built-in patented guitar analog stick for easy navigation. Includes a shoulder strap. Officially licensed by Nintendo. There's also setup instructions for how to get it all working. You can check out on their website. We'll put a link there, obviously. But it's got the the button layout that you would come to know from the past. So obviously there's going to be some, you're going to have some compatibility software-wise. You're going to see it expand. Obviously, right now, what they're advertising it for is for working in that Fortnite Festival mode, but we'll see what comes next. I think we're going to start seeing some cool stuff coming. What else do you get in the box? You get the charging cable, which is 1.2 meters. You get the controller, and you get the shoulder strap. It's pretty straightforward there. As far as anything else concerned, if you've used an old Guitar Hero style controller in the past, you know what you're expecting. It is good build quality, though. I can tell you that much. Right now, I don't see any sale at this time of recording. It's retailing for about $150 MSRP. Keep an eye out for any sales related to that. You'll see maybe where it goes from there. Specifically on the PlayStation version, you're going to look at, there is a sale. It's down to $110, and same with the Xbox. You'll have to keep an eye out and see if there's one for the Switch, what the price point goes for it. But there is on each console specific version has like different buttons or different features that work with it. For instance, the which one is it here? I believe it's the PlayStation version has an audio jack, like the headphone pass through to it. So keep an eye out. It's time to start to replace some of these controllers that in the past, were getting more and more expensive to find. And I remember there was a point where they weren't taking these kind of controllers in for trade at places because they were oversaturated. Well, now it's come full circle. The rhythm games are becoming popular again, and bam, now you can't find them. So PDP Riffmaster wireless controller, good build quality. If you're looking for one of these types of controllers, this is what you want to get. So I think those are two pretty cool controllers that I think you're going to want to take a look at, especially come holidays, as you might be buying some games or using some services that bundle with it. So put links in the description of the show. Check them out. Probably make our holiday gift guide as well. Alex, the producer here, and our friends at TP Link sent over a cool new product for us to check out for review. And it is the Tapo C560WS. It's an outdoor pan and tilt security Wi-Fi camera. We, both Birdman and myself, have over the last couple of years upgraded our own little home security with doorbell cams. He actually, I believe, has a TP Link that he reviewed. I had a Blink one. My mother has had a Blink doorbell put in her place. This is something I wanted to check out and also review specifically to see if I could use it for her. She's somebody who, lives alone and has a home to consider, and she has her security system, but she doesn't have a pan and tilt one, and she's been having some visitors at nighttime, and we did end up figuring out that it's a raccoon that keeps coming over to her place, and I was like, maybe we can get a good angle on it with this, and I can say for sure, definitely. Now what this is, like I said, it's an outdoor pan and tilt camera. It is 4K, which is 8 megapixel. It's way above what you get with entry-level systems, but also good quality and price. Basically everything that we've reviewed from TP Link has been of remarkable quality for the price, to be honest. Now it has local face recognition. Now what does that mean with local? The camera has AI stuff built in that recognizes faces. For instance, what it means by local is it doesn't send it out to the cloud. It's local to your own data. Wi-Fi 6 dual band connection, so you connect the camera to your Wi-Fi 6 router, and you can enjoy pretty good speed connected to it from your own home. Starlight color and night vision captures vibrant images in low light, and enhanced security with an f1.6 stop lens. It has a sensor and spotlights for it, so you can really get a good crisp clean picture even at nighttime. There is it includes free person and pet vehicle detection. Using some AI tech in there, the camera provides alerts as it identifies people, pets, vehicles, reducing false alerts and unnecessary notifications. There is flexible storage options. This is a big one. So you can choose from the local micro SD storage of up to 512 gigs, or the secure TapoCare cloud service for additional peace of mind. In our particular case, we wanted to go with something that was local only. My mom is somebody who she's not paranoid, but she's very concerned with sharing things off on the net or anything. So when it came to her doorbell camera, the reason we had the Blink put in was she's like, does it have to go to a cloud? I said, no, it doesn't. It can be local. And so for her, we set up the sync module, and when somebody goes to the doorbell, it goes to that, and then it goes through her internet and sends her a message on her local app, that sort of thing. She wanted to have something similar this way. Well, that's exactly what we've got here. We're going to put in, I had an extra 256 gig SD card that I was able to pop in, and we set it up locally that way, and she's able to connect to it and just do it through her Wi-Fi. It works perfectly fine, and significantly better quality than the Blink. It's also IP66 weatherproof. It offers excellent waterproof and dustproof performance for outdoor scenarios. It works pretty darn good. It's Wi-Fi 6, as I said, works with Alexa, works with Google Home and TapoCare. So we're able to integrate it into her home app on her phone, which she already has for her thermostat and that sort of stuff. Works great that way. It's set up, you could do it for 24/7 continuous monitoring. It works pretty darn good, and it's actually pretty easy and intuitive to use, which is something that's a big concern for her. She's not tech savvy whatsoever. And because her house is set up with the deco pods that we had actually gotten from TP Link in the past that have her house blanketed in, she's actually got mainly Wi-Fi 5 upstairs throughout the house, but she does have a Wi-Fi 6 enabled right in the basement, and it's actually close enough to connect to the back door, to connect to this, and for it to be able to be used that way with that, with the Wi-Fi 6 band, and it doesn't have any connectivity issues whatsoever, no dropouts or anything. And with the 256 gigs we got in there, she can have to 190 hours or so of continuous video or video going on there. We've set it in her case so that it basically turns on as a nighttime camera only. So she'll have plenty of storage before she has to determine whether or not she turns it on or off. It is quite surprisingly good quality, honestly, for being a self-contained unit. So the interface, it has an Ethernet port, it has a reset button, it has a micro SD card slot for it as well. This does have two-way audio with noise cancellation, so you're able to communicate through it that way. It has a built-in microphone and speaker. It also has with those AI detection stuff, sort of motion, person, pet, and vehicle detection. There's activity zones, which means that you can set it up so that it doesn't just record like your neighbor's backyard. You can have it set so that it will pan and tilt and go only in the area that you specify you want it to be monitoring, which saves on bandwidth and everything too, it works a lot better that way. So it has the ability to connect via Wi-Fi or Ethernet if you wanted to wire it in that way yourself. As far as power, it uses a 12-volt DC power adapter. So that can be a concern depending on where you mount it. So in our case, we're mounting it right behind the door, but we also have plugs to go right there anyway. So in our case, it's fine. If you're wanting something that's completely wireless, that's not what this is. This isn't something that runs off of just pure battery. It is something that runs off the mains. So keep that in mind. But other than that, it's a pretty darn solid product. And if you're looking to get, in my case, it's a gift for Christmas. This is something that, I know that she's going to use, something that's quite useful. And most importantly, for if you're getting it for somebody like me, where I'm getting it for somebody who's a senior citizen, it is quite intuitive and easy to use for them even. I think she's not going to have any issues right now. It was an early Xmas gift because we wanted to have it set up before the weather changed. But, she's had no issues with it so far. And I think if she does have any issues, it's something I can diagnose and help her with. And it's pretty intuitive for her to check out. So I'll put a link in the description of the show for it. And keep an eye out. We'll probably include it as well in our main holiday gift guide. So keep an eye out for that over the next couple of weeks.
Those magnificent bastards! Color me kooky, but something very odd is going on around here.
You're not allowed to talk anymore.
Welcome back, and hope you found something cool in there that we reviewed. There's been so much that's come in that it's hard to tell, what's great, what's good, what's worth it, what's not. But there's a good variety this year, that's for sure. For this final, closing segment, we're going to go over some of the manufacturer-specific and I guess publisher-specific deals that I was sent in my press email, but also a few items that I want to mention for the gift guide that you might be, interested in checking out. A few physical things here from a few different companies. One I'm going to mention is you probably heard us talk last year about Hitster. That was a musical party game, and if you're interested in the original version of that, you can either go back and listen to our show from last year, or I can mention here that it retails for $30 Canadian. You can go to their website, hitstergame.com, and check out where to pick it up from. But they've also got a new one out, Hitster Guilty Pleasures. Now, for this, it says your favorite songs are gathered in the Guilty Pleasures edition. The songs will make you turn up the volume and make you want to sing. First player collects 10 hits is crowned the winner. For anybody that doesn't know, this was actually one of the more fun, interactive games that we had for review last year. And obviously having a new edition is sweet. Recommended, it says age 16 plus, probably based on some of the lyrics, if anything. But up from 2 to 20 players, 30 to 60 minutes per game. This one also retails for $30. You can check it out at hitstergame.com. Really, really fun. Something, you want, if you're sitting around, you're having friends or family over, and you're cooking something in the oven, and you got about a half hour or so, and you want to do something interactive but not on the screen, or not directly, like you're not playing a video game together. This is something to check out. I really enjoyed the first version, so I think you'll probably enjoy the Guilty Pleasures version as well. We've also got a few other items. I'm just going to pick a couple here. If you're looking for something to play with kids, there's Ready, Set, Spaghetti. Now, we do try to cover, a fair amount of a variety of different products here. Usually our stuff skews to like the teens and up age, but we also, for the holiday season, we always really try to get something that like anybody can play. So we usually get some board games or some sort of toys that we can talk about. And that's what Ready, Set, Spaghetti is. You set up a board with all your spaghetti strings and press in the ingredients. So the idea is you roll a dice to see which toppings to remove from the plate. You untangle the spaghetti and twirl your fork to reel it in. But if you pick the wrong toppings, you can help your opponents get closer to winning. So it's one of those, a little bit of strategy involved. And the first player to scoop up all the spaghetti is the winner. It's for ages 6+, so we gave it a go. I played it with some people my age, and we still had a fun time with it. And it, again, retails for $30 Canadian. The company that put it out is Kid Toy, so you can check it out. I'll put the link in the show description for kidtoy.ca. It's a pretty freaking sweet little, quick and easy to play game that isn't just your standard shoots and ladders. We've also got My First Drawing from Kids for All, it says on the side. Now this is Buki My First Drawings. Basically, it's a starter set for kids ages 3 and up, so it's something that you can get for like a toddler that is just at the cusp of really starting to learn and expand their horizons. It's got colorful markers, squishy stamps, bright different paints in there, stickers. It's an all-in-one set. You can draw, dab, roll, decorate, and it's all, it stores up to 50 creators. It's basically just a cool creative set, the kind of thing that as a kid your aunt or your grandma might have had to piece together bit by bit for a kid and be like, oh, this is cool. This is all in one, so it's already all put together. It's a good creative outlet for kids, and it's something that you can get it all in one place, and it's not like the cheap dollar store crap. This is a good solid set. Retails for $40 MSRP. Again, I'll put the link in the description of where you can pick it up. That's for somebody who, especially, you never know. We're usually a very tech savvy and tech oriented podcast and outlet, but it is also something to be said for the very young kids to just get creative, get their hands dirty, and do something that is away from a screen. They have their whole lives to be attached to a screen. So this is something you can get for that kid just to really have a fun creative outlet. So that's why I wanted to include it here as well. So that stuff's pretty sweet. We're going to have more tactile type things to talk about in the main gift guide in a week or so. But this is, I wanted to get a few items in here, especially to talk about just for that. We'll have other reviews of things in the, I think we're going to have one more regular show this week, or this upcoming week, as well as the gift guide show and then last minute gift ideas. So there might be some overlap with some of these, but the idea is to get a variety of ideas out for you. As far as some of the deals that were sent to us to talk about from different publishers or other, media outlets, Bandai Namco says that they've got a deal right now on their Black Friday stuff. So they have up to 90% off a pretty big variety of games and stuff. You can get Digimon Story Time Stranger 10% off through them. That is one that I mentioned earlier in the show, is also available at retail, depending on the store. Sometimes at around the same discount, maybe even more if you keep your eye out. Little Nightmares 3 is 20% off. Elden Ring Night Rain is 36% off. Shadow Labyrinth is 30% off. Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is 43% off. I'll go to their website and get a little more. I'll put the link in the show, so if you want to check it out as well. They also have, let's see, Dark Souls 3 is 50% off. So it's going to be region pricing. You put in the country that you're from, and it'll adjust to you. So that's why I'm not giving the direct price. These are global sales through their media partners. So, it doesn't matter where you are. This isn't me reading off of like a print flyer like I was earlier in the show. Tekken 8 is 60% off. Let me see here. Bleach Rebirth of Souls is 40% off. Dragon Ball Z Kakarot's 25% off, but it's already a pretty low priced game, so it's still a pretty good deal. Now these are specifically through Sony's. That's Sony's deals. The Microsoft deals, in some cases, have slightly different percentages off, so you'll want to check that out. We want to talk about 90% off. One Piece World Seeker on the Xbox platform is, at least in Canada, is $5.99, regularly $60. So there's a deal for you, as well as the Namco Museum Archives Volume 1. That's 75% off. It's $5. Arcade game series Pac-Man is $2, regularly $4, I guess, for that one individual game. And the Namco Museum Archives Volume 2 is $5, also 75% off. They've got some pretty sweet deals there. And as far as Nintendo-based platforms, Dragon Ball Z Fighters Dragon Ball Fighters is $15 or $14.39, basically $15. That's 84% off. Kakarot is 20% off. Toa and the Guardians of the Sacred Tree is 20% off. And some of their Steam sales, Shadow Labyrinth is 30% off there. Tekken 8 is 60% off. Dark Souls 3 is 50% off. Let's see if there's anything different. Through Amazon's deals, Armored Core 6 Standard Edition on PlayStation platforms is 10% off. And Night Rain is pretty much $10 off on every platform. Pac-Man World 2 is $10 off on every platform. Tales of Grace's F Remastered is $20. That's a good deal. There's a few other ones on here. Once Upon a Katamari, which we just had a review of in this past week. That's $10 off. That's a good deal. Tales of Xillia Remastered, which we reviewed about a week or two ago. It's also $10 off. There's some pretty good deals here. So, maybe consider checking out some Bandai Namco stuff. As far as other companies, EA, if you are into sports games and you want to get, stuff from them, they basically discount all of this current year's stuff, depending on the region, fairly heavily. Like, for instance, EA Sports F1 25, we've talked about that previously on the show. NHL as well. Let's see here. I don't think that they're not listing their individual prices, but there are sales going on from the 20th to December 4th. Varying degrees on there. So if you're into sports titles, you're going to see a pretty hefty discount as they, go into the holiday season, leading into, what obviously will be new games coming out next year. As far as Marvelous and Xseed, they've got a decent Black Friday deal. So they have, let's pull that up here. They have some titles as low as $10. And so Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion, is anywhere from $49 to $99, depending on the platform and depending on the version. But it is on sale. Same goes for Story of Seasons, Grand Bazaar. Same price point, basically. The low end, $49. Rune Factory, Gardens of Azuma, $39 is the starting point, depending on the version. And then they've got some of their physical editions on sale, as dating back to whatever I guess they still had in stocks, like even Loop 8 stuff is on here. So they got a fairly decent sale going on their own store, as well as keep an eye out for certain discounts on other platforms. And finally, as far as emails that I wanted to go through that was deals, is we've talked a lot about Razer products this year. We sent a lot of review copies of sample units of different things, and they also have a Cyber Weekend sale that they've got. As far as some of the stuff, it's going to be a wide variety, but it's also going to depend on your region. If you're going to their website, they'll have a bunch of stuff on sale there as well. But let me see if I can pull up specific prices on things. Here we go, Cyber Weekend. Because they basically, they send me an email and it's got like a bazillion products in it, but obviously no prices because you'd have to check your region. But they do have up to 30% off their silver catalog. Let's see here. You can get a laptop, but it's expensive. But as far as things that are a little bit more in a regular price range, the Black Widow V4 keyboards, which we reviewed, are 20% off, which is that could save you a hefty penny. If you're looking for like a really cool gamepad controller, they got the Raiju's out, but it's not on sale. But it is a cool purchase. They're also giving away small gifts, certain ones with certain items as well, and there's some versions of products that are only on their site. So there's some decent stuff. Let's see here. All deals. We're going to skip laptops because you already sort of know if you want a laptop or not, if you're going to get one. A lot of their mice are on sale somewhere between 12 and 20% or so on average. It's pretty much every model. If you keep an eye out, take a look. As far as other keyboards, the Huntsman Minis are anywhere from 38 to 41% off, depending on your color scheme or colorway that you choose. Those are good keyboards. Those are really good keyboards and that price point. That's awesome. They do have some headsets on sale, 15% off most of their headsets. Again, check the color, check the type. If you're looking for a decent microphone from them, they're going to range anywhere from 7 to about 30% off. So keep an eye out for that. And they are doing some bundles like headsets with controllers and so on, where you save money that way. If you're looking for a gamer chair, like a lot of their gamer chairs are about 40% off right now. And then a bunch of other accessories as well, different like computer cases for $100, regularly $230. A lot of good deals there. You're stepping up the price point a little bit when you're going for like laptops and that. But if you're looking for like keyboards and mice, that sort of stuff, a lot of stuff that we review and talk about on here, there's some decent deals to be had right now. And it's a U.S. store, but they will ship internationally, and you can look at in your local stores that do carry them. So if you look at like your Canada Computers up here, or your Best Buys and that, or anywhere where they do carry Razer products, they'll probably have a similar deal going, or maybe something slightly different. But there's a lot of cool stuff that you can check out from Razer. So that's pretty much going to do it. There's going to be obviously more. I have a feeling we'll get emails, leading right up until Black Friday. But this is our Black Friday programming. If anything major happens where there's like a crazy, amazing deal, then of course we'll break into our programming schedule and we'll definitely talk about it and pop up and say, hey, we weren't able to get it into the regular show. Check this out. Or when we do our regular holiday gift guide, if there's still sales going on, then we'll make sure that we talk about it there. As far as upcoming programming on the site, we will be having a Birdman's tabletop gift guide, because he's had a bunch to go through, and he's like, I don't know if we're going to be able to fit it all in, Alex. I said, well, how about you do a mini guide, sort of like our Black Friday guide, that is just going over the tabletop games that you have. And because I have a bunch of board games and stuff too, that I'm going to put some in the regular guide, but I'm going to record a little segment with some board games that can maybe fit into the theme of what he's doing. And we'll have another little show, I think this week probably, of tabletop games like RPG books and board games that's focused just on that. And then we're going to have obviously our regular holiday gift guide that should be coming out. Let me double check the schedule right now. That should be coming out on the 8th, either Sunday the 7th or Monday the 8th, depending on how the scheduling works. We will also have a Christmas guide, a Christmas special during our holiday break. But upcoming on the show this week, we've also got Earth vs. Soup on the 4D Man from 1958. The following week is the Sword of Sherwood Forest from 1960. We will have one of our Future Imperfects or Loose Cannon. I think we're going to do the Loose Cannon Goofy movie double feature coming up probably this week or early next. We are also doing a prototype podcast on our predictions for the Game Awards, where we go into what we think is going to win, also what we would like to win, and maybe some general thoughts on the year so far in gaming, as it starts to wrap up. And we'll then obviously come back and do a show on the Game Awards the day after the Game Awards, where we can go to bed and sleep and collect our thoughts and go over the difference between our predictions, what actually won, do we think it was right that it should have won, and our final thoughts on the year as far as game goes. That's usually the last thing that we actually record live, because usually the game, when it comes to things like the Christmas special and our holiday gift guides, and that's pre-recorded before it actually airs. But we'll pretty much be on hiatus after that, but we've got a bunch of other stuff in the works. We're still recording some shows over the next few weeks that we're going to see come out over the holiday season. A lot of Future Imperfects, a lot of loose cannons, some random access memory shows, maybe a spotlight or two on something else, but a lot of cool things coming. So that is pretty much it. If there's any other crazy good deals that come out this week or next, we'll be sure to share it on all of our social media. But that's going to do it right here for our Black Friday and Cyber Mondays deals guide right here at This Week in Geek. Come check us out. We'll be back some other time this week with more programming. And be sure to check out our full holiday gift guide coming in just a couple of weeks right here at ThisWeekInGeek.net.
At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought.
Thanks for listening to this episode of This Week in Geek. Hungry for more? Check out our website at thisweekingeek.net. You can subscribe to the podcast, browse our Twitter and Instagram, and leave your thoughts on today's topics. If you'd like to give us some feedback, send us an email at feedback@thisweekingeek.net. Tune in next time, and remember,
lower your shields and surrender your listenership.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Thank you for your cooperation. Good night.